In today's video, I'm going to be showing you a really simple drill to improve your backswing. This exercise is going to stop a lot of things, a lot of faults. If you're someone who sways too much off the golf ball, if you're someone who gains a lot of height going back, or maybe loses height going back, or just doesn't create a full turn, this exercise is really going to help you. Welcome back to the TruGolf Academy. You've joined me, Jon Watts, today at Branston Golf and Country Club. As mentioned in the intro there, today's video is about a backswing exercise that I really believe in. I think it's a great drill, and I'm going to jump straight into the drill and talk you through the components of it to improve your backswing. So I'm going to put the club behind a tee peg here. I can plonk a ball on there to make it a little clearer, a little bit more visual. And I'm just going to put a tour stick down on the ground, representing my body line, so it's parallel to the target line here, just in front of my toes. And what I'm going to do with this exercise is actually start with the golf club, and it doesn't matter what the club is. I've got a driver here, but I'm going to start with it into my sternum, so into the center of my rib cage, my chest here. I'm just going to hold it however I comfortably can, and I'm going to get into golf posture. And what I'm trying to achieve with this exercise is, as I coil back here, I'm trying to get the club parallel to the ground level, so that is the grip and the head end the same distance away from the ground, and I'm trying to match the club up to the cane, the red line on my feet line here. So this is meaning that I'm creating a good coiled backswing and getting the right movement. So I'm creating that right movement where I'm getting the club to parallel to the ground and the club shaft is matching the red line on the floor. Okay, so that's the movement I'm looking to try and get. So it's a real coiled backswing where I'm staying very centered. I'm almost replacing, so at the minute as I look at it, the club is over the top of the ball. And I get to the backswing, it looks more like my lead shoulder. So for me, my left shoulder is actually now over the top of the golf ball, because my lead shoulder is actually moving down and a little bit in front of me. My trail shoulder is moving up and a little bit behind me. And that means I can start to maintain my posture and stay relatively centered over the golf ball. What we're trying to reduce is if we get too much, and I'm okay with a little bit of lateral movement, but if we get too much lateral movement off the golf ball here, I'll really struggle to get this to parallel to the ground. You can see the club head is lower than the butt end of the grip here, unless I make another compensatory move and stand up and out of posture. And now you can see that this doesn't match the line on the floor. So what we're trying to get again is parallel to the ground and matching the red line. It cures a lot of faults. If I was someone who I was losing a lot of height in my backswing, I don't see it as often as the gain, but if I was getting someone who was losing height here, again, they're going to really struggle to get that club shaft matching the red line, let alone getting it parallel to the ground level. Again, unless I'd make some kind of compensatory movement. So this exercise is great for someone who's too lateral off the golf ball, who's dipping down in the backswing, or actually standing up and out of posture and gaining too much height. There are some golfers who will gain a little bit of height in the backswing to generate some speed and power, and that's fine as long as they come back down to position. But if you feel your backswing is starting to cause your downswing fault, which it often is, this is a simple exercise to try and stay centered and try and create a big coiled movement. I don't want you to refer to it as a turn, because a turn off the ball means my shoulders are working on the horizontal, and actually we are coiling or turning on a tilted axis here to create that movement. So once you've done some of these, I'd put the club into your hand and try and get that same sensation. Okay, so let me try one more two of these. So into my sternum, straight ahead of me, tilt forwards, and that's the backswing movement I'm looking for. You can see if I stretch my lead arm out there, it'd look a pretty good top of the backswing. I feel very coiled. I feel like I've maintained my spine angle. My lead shoulders moved down and in front of my chin. My trail shoulders moved out of the way here. So this is a great backswing exercise, which is ultimately going to help your downswing, your transition, the sequencing of the downswing movement. So now we could put that into a feeling of what that feels like. I'm feeling very centered. It's looking like my lead shoulder is moving out towards the golf ball a little bit here, and I feel like I'm really staying centered and coiling around my spine. So some of those slow exercises before you put it into some golf swing moves, before you go ahead and try and get that feeling to the actual golf swing. We've got to start, I believe, creating the right feels in an exercise, then putting that into motion, then being able to put that into full speed. So it does take a little bit of time, but going back to that exercise, and it's of course something you could just do while you're waiting on the tee for a group in front or for your mates to be teeing off. You can just keep going back and forth to an exercise along those lines, trying to create this real coiled movement. I've done a couple other videos talking about backswing exercises, showing one with my arms stretched out more like a windmill exercise. It's very, very relevant to what we're talking about today. And some talking about maintaining our shoulder plane on the backswing. And these are all relevant exercises. There's some different ideas for you to create the same feels. And I will put the links to those videos just up here, well worth checking out. So let me get that feeling again of coiling, turning around my spine angle on the backswing before I can go ahead and actually try and hit one. So my feel is the backswing here, coiling around my spine. Well, that felt a very coiled backswing. It felt a nice transition movement, balance felt good, and I'm very happy with the ball flight there. It's not going to come quickly for you if it's something you've struggled with, but creating the right movements, the right feels in your backswing is definitely going to help a lot of issues with downswing movements as well. If you can get it on video, you'll perhaps be able to see whether you are struggling with some of these points. There's some cheap free apps you can use, draw some circles around your head, see if there's a lot of lateral movement, see if there's a dip, see if there's too much gain of height, and then you'll know where to work. But this exercise is a very generic backswing movement, but it's going to give you the right feels for a very coiled backswing that we're looking for. If this video has helped, make sure you hit the thumbs up and do subscribe to my channel to never miss a video again. Thanks guys, we'll see you soon.